subscribe.
一体どんな手を使って
どんな手も何も俺は元から
登録していた。
Card Kaizoku.
Please buy my new Don. Maybe make your deck go donna, donna. Baby, I know you wanna buy donna, donna. My Don, da Don, Don, Don. This video is sponsored by Card Market, Europe's largest online marketplace for trading card games. This video is sponsored by Sleeve Chief. They've got sleeves, bam, deck boxes, bam, playmats, bam, all with the beautiful designs on them for your dueling needs. It's Sleeve Chief's 2nd anniversary, happy birthday! And to celebrate, they're having an anniversary sale with 20% off site-wide. And this is perfect timing too because they're releasing 40 new products. And on top of that, you can use my affiliate code Kaizoku for an additional 5% off. Yes, it stacks. They also ship worldwide. So if you liked what you saw, head on over to the Sleeve Chief store and take advantage of their 20% off site-wide 2nd anniversary sale. Links in the descriptions below. Alright, we're going to be doing the remaining 3 colors of OP08. If you missed part 1, the video should be up from yesterday, so you can check out that video to see what I think about red, green, and blue. But yeah, we'll just jump right into it. Let's start off with purple. So we have King, the King leader, dual color. What does King do? I forgot. Not King do the character from the White Bear Pirates, but King from the Animal Kingdom Pirates. So activate main once per turn. Dawn -2, you can return. Yeah, I know what Dawn -2 means. Okay, choose one from the following. If you have 5 or fewer cards in your hand, draw 1 card. Or up to one of your opponent's characters get -2 cost during this turn. Okay, so kind of a utility effect, but you do have to Dawn -2. That means any turn that you use this, you set yourself back 1 turn of Dawn. So you'll most likely only use it when you're at 10 Dawn, right? Because if you're at 10 going to 8, you just go back to 10 next turn. You're not stuck at any like Dawn thresholds early on. So it is a effect that you don't really use for 5 turns, and you're a 4 life leader to start. I don't know. But yeah, when you can use it, you could draw a card. But it's not even unconditional draw. You have to have 5 cards or less in hand to draw. I guess if you ramp twice, it only takes 4 turns to get to 10 Dawn. So it kind of leads me to think that he's more of like a late game kind of deck, right? You want to get to 10 ASAP and then just coast at 10, drawing cards or giving minus cost to something. -2 cost is pretty significant. It's enough for 07 Lucci when he's running that Annie's Lobby stage card, right? So this is kind of like that, except you don't have to draw it. It's baked into your leader ability, so it's guaranteed in the late game at least. And it allows you to run a stage card that ramps you too. Since he is an Animal Kingdom Pirates leader, he can run Onigashima. I guess we need to see the rest of the cards that support the archetype. We also have Pudding, purple, yellow Pudding, a dual color Big Mom Pirates leader. So this card can run 10 cost Big Mom. And what does Pudding do? When attacking, you can turn the top 2 cards of your life face up, and then you can rest 1 active Dawn. Okay, so it is similar to Purple Luffy, where you have access to a ramp effect from your leader ability, so it makes it a little consistent. Luffy's is more consistent because you can use it whenever that you have life, but this one requires your life to be face down to begin with. Top 2, right? Both have to be face down. So, will you be able to use it more than once in succession? It might be kind of hard. You'd have to run cards like that Viola blocker that turns all your life face down. Unless they print more cards like that in this set, I guess we'll see. But yeah, you get 1 guaranteed ramp, and then you have to like finagle your way for a 2nd ramp. And then after that, once you get to 10, you don't really need this leader ability anymore. So wouldn't you just play Purple Luffy instead? I don't know, maybe having yellow is some benefit for this leader. We'll see. Okay, first card is King. No, it's not. It's Aruberu. Wait, is that King's real name? I guess it is. So what does this King do? 4 cost 5k power, 1k counter. Activate main, you can put this character in the trash. If your leader has the Beast Pirates type, add a Dawn to your field. If there are 10 cards, bring up to 1 King card with the cost of 7 or less from your hand into play. 10 Dawn, right? Well, let me read the Japanese. Yes. Okay. So you trash this King, you ramp a Dawn, and if you have 10 Dawn at that point, you can play a 7 cost King from your hand. 7 cost or less. So, 4 Dawn to cheat out a 7 drop. That sounds pretty good, but yeah, you do have to be at 10 Dawn. So it's not like you can do this on curve, right? At your 4 Dawn turn, if you play him out, you can't cheat out the 7 cost at that point. You only cheat it out when you're at 10 Dawn. So at best, he is a 3 Dawn discount. At worst, he's still a 4 drop 5k attacker. Yeah, so that doesn't sound too bad. He has 1k counter too. I guess we'll see what 7 drop King there is. Or no, there's a existing one from starter deck. Starter deck 4, right? That's, I forget. Starter deck 1 is the 6 drop, and then the OP01 is the 7 drop, right? But yeah, I guess we'll see if there's any more kings in this set. Oh yeah, here he is right away. Here's a new 7 drop king. This one has an 8k stat line. On play, Dawn -1. If your opponent has 5 or more Dawn, this character has Rush. That sounds good. So it's 4 Dawn for an 8k rusher if you combo it with Audubel. Okay, huh. And then even on his own, if you're just playing for 7, that seems worth it. 7 Dawn for an 8k rusher. And Dawn -1 isn't the worst. It doesn't set you back a whole turn, it just sets you back half a turn. Yeah, I like it. Okay, huh. Mono King deck. You have Charlotte Oven as well. 5 cost, 6k power. It's a purple Big Mom Pirates. Let's see, when attacking, Dawn -1, K up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 3 or less. This might be good for like purple black deck. Oh, which is what King is. But this is a Big Mom Pirates card, so you'd think it'd go in a Pudding deck. But I don't think Pudding can utilize the 3 cost KO portion that well. You need Black's cost reduction to like fully actualize it. So maybe this is actually a King card instead, or even a Zephyr card. But yeah, you have to let him stick on board to be able to attack too. And these kind of effects aren't as valuable because yeah, you do run the risk of losing 5 Dawn in value if he dies. So yeah, wish it was an on play instead. Let's see what else we have. A 2 cost Katakuri. What I think it's saying is that you can put this character in the trash, and then if your leader has a Big Mom Pirates type, you can play a Katakuri card from your hand with the cost of 3, at least 3, up to the amount of Dawn that your opponent has. So this discounts any Katakuri card in your deck. Even 8 cost Katakuri, I'm assuming. So if they have 8 Dawn, you can play your Katakuri for 2 Dawn with this card. That sounds pretty nuts. Yeah, and then you have 6 Dawn left to work for your turn. That seems pretty broken to me. They're doing that kind of theme a lot now. It started with Reiju, the small siblings cheating out the bigger versions of it, the suited up versions, and then Starter Deck 13 kind of did that too, and then now we see King and Katakuri do it. There's even like a event card for Enel to do it. Oh, there's even another Katakuri character in this set. 6 cost, 7k power, 1k counter. On play, you can turn the top card of your life face down, and then you can ramp 1 active Dawn. Okay, so this kind of helps your Pudding be able to ramp again, but it only does 1 card face down. So you would have to take 1 life on Pudding, so you only have 1 face up life card, and then you could play this Katakuri and then turn that face down and ramp again. And this Katakuri himself gives you an active Dawn to work with. Okay. I still think that 8 cost Katakuri is probably the best target for the 2 costs to cheat out. We have a new Cracker card, a purple one. 4 cost 5k, so same stat line as the 04 one, right? He was from 04, the yellow one. Let's see, activate main, Dawn -1. Once per turn, make up to one Biscuit Soldier card appear from your hand. Okay, so there's going to be a Biscuit Soldier character card that you can cheat out with this. You can do this every turn for -1 Dawn. That seems pretty good. Well, it depends on what the Biscuit Soldier does, so I guess we'll see. And next card is not Biscuit Soldier, it's just Vanilla Smoothie. 7 cost vanilla in purple. I guess that's good. We have another Brulee too. 4 cost, 1k power, 1k counter. This one's also a blocker. All the Brulees are blockers for some reason. When KO'd, rest... Oh wait, ramp 1 rested Dawn. That sounds like Dookie? What the heck? 4 Dawn for a 1k power blocker that ramps you 1 Dawn when it dies. I don't know, that doesn't sound great to me. Yeah, this card sucks. Unless there's like a card later on that synergizes with it. Okay, we have a new Pudding as well. 3 cost, 4k power, 1k counter. The blue Pudding also has 4k power only. Let's see, during your turn, once per turn, if a Dawn on your Dawn area was returned to your Dawn deck, you can ramp 1 rested Dawn. So it's like the 5 cost kid, but worse. Yeah, strictly worse. This Pudding's not even a blocker, but I guess you could get it out like a turn earlier, but what do you do with her after that? I don't know. And the Dawn is rested too, it's not active. Maybe Dookie? Charlotte Perospero, same stat line as the yellow one. 3 cost, 5k power, no counter. On KO, ramp 1 rested Dawn. Yeah, I like this more than the Brulee, because you can at least attack with them. Even as a trigger, Dawn -1, play them out for free. Yeah, this is infinitely better than the other Brulee. And then Dawn -1 to trigger out a body seems pretty nice. You don't have to expend a card in hand like the yellow version. Yeah, I like it. We have a new Charlotte Linland card. 9 cost, 9k power, purple. And then on play, Dawn -1, you can discard 1 card from your hand, add up to 1 card from the top of your deck to your life, then add up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 6 or less face up on the top or bottom of your opponent's life. Interesting. So you heal, and then you kind of do like an 8 cost Katakuri effect on your opponent. The fact that it hits 6 cost or less is a little less desirable. You can't hit big threats like you can with Katakuri. But yeah, this is devastating to cards like the 05 Sabo. Is it 05? No, 04. The black blocker Sabo. That's a good card to put into life because it has no counter, so you don't mind putting it back into life when you're going for lethal swings. But yeah, you don't get to handle cards like 8 cost Kid or stuff like that like you would with Katakuri. But you still get to heal and you have a 9k body after. So there's good things and bad things with this card. I think the goods outweigh the bad. So this might be a pretty good late game option. But you do have to compare it to the yellow 10 cost Big Mom, which can just outright heal and make your opponent take a life. But yeah, it doesn't handle board. This at least handles board. We'll have to see. Maybe you just run both. We have Egg Baron, a new Baron Tamago card. Let's see, 3 cost 4k power. He's a blocker. And then on KO, if you Dawn -1, you can play a Chick Viscount with a cost of 5 or less from your hand. Okay, I guess we'll have to see what that Chick Viscount card is. This is Count Chicken, which is not Viscount. So what does Count Chicken do? 6 cost 7k power. On your opponent's turn and on KO, you can Dawn -1 and play up to 1 Egg Baron with the cost of 4 or less from your deck. Okay, so if this guy dies on your opponent's turn, you can play out Baron Tamago from your deck. So you don't even have to have him in your hand. So a blocker comes out, and then when this guy dies, you can play Viscount Chicken. Nope, it's Biscuit Soldier. Okay, I guess we'll come back to it. So this is the Biscuit Soldier that plays with that Cracker card. 5 cost 5k power, 1k counter, and you can have as many copies. Okay, so it's maybe like the Pacifista, right? Same stat line. Yeah, it's a blocker. It's exactly a Pacifista in purple. What did Cracker do again? I forgot. Let me go back. Okay, so every turn, if you just -1 Dawn, you can play one of those Biscuit Soldiers from your hand. And if you have like that 5 cost Kid out, you get the Dawn back. That sounds pretty good. And you're just playing a bunch of blockers every turn, right? This actually might be pretty playable, actually. Let me just say actually one more time. Actually. Right. Oh, here's a Viscount Chick. So 5 cost 6k power. On your opponent's turn, when this card is KO'd, you can play a Chicken Count with a cost of 6 or less from your deck. Wait, is it like a full cycle? Which one starts it off? So if you play this one first and it dies, you play this from your deck. And if this one dies, you can play this from your deck. And then if he dies, you can play this from your hand, right? So this one has to start it off. Or no, I guess technically any of them can start it off, but if you're playing Baron Tamago, you need this in your hand already, Viscount Chicken. But if you start off with Viscount Chicken, then you don't need anything else in your hand because it pulls from deck. So this one's just a 6k attacker. This one's a 7k attacker, and this one is a blocker. I don't know, might be playable. Like you'll always have a body on board no matter who dies until you get to Baron Tamago. So you have to like kill Viscount Chicken 3 times technically. But if you just bottom deck them, then that kind of gets rid of that, right? Because this is on KO only. I don't know, it might be good. It sounds good. But yeah, again, bottom decking completely cancels this out. We have Black Maria. This is one of the early spoiled cards that like I'm pretty hyped about. So 3 cost 2k power, 2k counter. Activate main once per turn. If you have no other Black Maria characters on board, you can add 5 Dawn from your Dawn deck, rested. So this is Dawn you can't use, but you get 5 of it. And then at the end of the turn, you return Dawn back to your Dawn deck until you're equal to your opponent, right? So this is the perfect tool to like ramp back up after a big minus Dawn effect. Like if you played 9 cost Kaido, you have to minus, was it 4 Dawn? 5 Dawn? Yeah, you minus 5 Dawn. Black Maria can get you those 5 Dawn back as long as your opponent stays at 10 Dawn. Even with Red Purple Law's leader ability, since you're going to be like less than your opponent the whole game, you can just play a Black Maria at some point and then just match your opponent's Dawn. That's if you're like within 5 of each other, but usually you are. And then even with that 10 cost Secret Rare Luffy, on your second turn that you get with them, you can play this Black Maria out and then get all the Dawn you minus 10'd back. So yeah, I think that's pretty good. I kind of went over it in my 10 cost Linlin and Kaido card video of like a potential synergy with Red Purple Luffy and this card and that 10 drop. So you can check out that video if you want to see that combo that I cooked up. Right, next card is a stage, or not stage, an event, Candy Maiden. 1 cost on main, Dawn -1. You can make up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 2 or less, get rested, and then turn all your lives face down. Okay, this is a way other than Viola to make all your life face down. It's in purple too, that's interesting. So it's specifically for pudding. None of the other yellow leaders that make cards in their life face up have access to this, like Ace or Luffy or Sabo. And then the trigger lets you ramp 1 Dawn. Yeah, it's Dawn. They translated Dawn to Boom. I guess technically that is what Dawn represents, but kind of interesting that Google decides to make this Boom, but this one, it's still called Dawn up here. Is this event good? I don't know. It depends on how necessary it is to make Pudding's leader ability available, like the turn after. I'm going to say no, because you have to Dawn -1 too to use this effect. And all you're doing is resting at 2 costs. So yeah, maybe kind of bad. We have Incredibly Delicious with the questionable art. 3 cost event on main, you can ramp 1 active Dawn. And after that, if your opponent has a character with 6,000 power or more, you can ramp another active Dawn. So it's 3 Dawn to ramp 2 Dawn. This feels like a Hearthstone card, but yeah, I think in One Piece, you don't really need this effect. Do you? Because wouldn't you rather play stuff like Mr. 2, because at least it comes with the body? Or even like Zorojuro or even Jean Bart, cards like that, Ain, Beppo. Yeah, it doesn't get you 2 Dawn, but that second Dawn is conditional anyway. And it's 3 Dawn to like just ramp 2 Dawn, you don't develop anything. And then you have your leader ability to ramp 2 between like Purple Luffy or Pudding. So I really don't think an event like this is necessary. And then the trigger lets you ramp an active Dawn. Yeah, I don't think this card will be used, to be honest. We have a new 6 cost event, Hakai. On main, Dawn -2. If your leader has the Beast Pirates or Big Mom Pirates type, your opponent, you can KO a 6 cost or less. 2 6 costs or less. Yeah, they worded it weird. Okay, so it's like a Gravity Blade in purple. Gravity Blade Raging Tiger, whatever that blue event is. Bottom decking is better than this effect though, and it does set you back 1 turn of Dawn. But if you're at 10, yeah, this card is no detriment to play. I don't know, I guess it's just good to have a purple kind of like board wipe. Not board wipe, but like semi-wide removal. This will help it with Red Purple Law for sure, but Red Purple Law is a purple deck itself. It'll be devastating against Doflamingo decks too. And Bonnie decks, Bonnie is susceptible to these kinds of effects. So yeah, great addition to purple overall. Okay, moving on to black, we have Ulti, a black Ulti card. It's just a vanilla though. Then we have 9 cost Kaido in black, 9k power, activate main once per turn. You can discard 1 card from your hand. If the turn this character appears, if this is the turn this character appears, send up to one of your opponent's characters with the cost of 7 or less to the trash, then your opponent discards 1 card from the hand. What? That sounds amazing. What the heck? So it's not a KO effect, it's like that Brook that just sends cards straight to the trash. So it bypasses cannot be KO'd effects, and it bypasses activations of any on KO effects. And this is a black card too, so like the fact that it only targets a 7 cost is like no big deal. You could probably get it to target higher costed characters, right? If it's a Lucci deck, Lucci swings, that's -1 cost, and then you use the any Zobby stage, that's -2 more cost. You can KO a 10 cost, which is the highest cost in the game. So this Kaido kills anything, technically, in that deck. You do have to discard a card to play it though, but that is no big deal. It's activate main too, so you can use this every turn. Oh no, you can't. There's that clause that you can only activate it on the turn that you play them. So yeah, the turn that you play them kills, for all intents and purposes, kills anything. And then your opponent even has to discard a card in hand. That is like a big slap in the face. I think this Kaido is really good. Yeah, I'd run this over the Stussy in the Lucci deck now. Wow. And then we have Queen. It looks like a searcher stat line. 1 cost 2k power. Yep, it searches for a Beast Pirates or another Queen. No, other than Queen. So it can't search Purple Queen. Then you add it to your hand. Okay, another Beast Pirate searcher. So now we have one in blue and in black, but not in purple, if I recall correctly. And we have, who's this guy? Gerunika. He's a CP agent, CP0. 1 cost 2k power. What does he do? When attacking, you can place 3 cards with the CP type from your trash onto the bottom of your deck in any order. KO to one of your opponent's characters with the cost of 0. Okay, so it's just a KO option via attack that you can do for 1. I don't think he is good. If it was an on play, that'd be pretty broken. So that's why he's when attacking only, I guess. But yeah, you have to get him to stick, and you can't combo it with Gecko Moria, because you still have to wait a turn after to attack with Gerunika to utilize Gecko Moria's like insane value swing. So because of that, I don't think he's that great. We have Sasaki, a 2k counter, 1 cost 1k power. Activate main, my Dawn. What does that mean? You can make one of your characters a rest and make this character a rest. Let me just read the Japanese. 自分のドン1枚をレストにし、このキャラをレストにできる. Okay, so if you can rest a Dawn, then rest this character as well. What do you get access to? You can give -2 cost to a character for the turn. That sounds bad, right? Wouldn't you just play Sudu? Sudu also costs 1 and doesn't require an additional Dawn. Yeah, so actually Sasaki costs 2 because you have to rest this Sasaki and a Dawn, while Sudu is just 1 Dawn to give -2k to something, or 2 costs to something. But I guess there's some merit to him being searchable by that Queen card in this Animal Kingdom black deck, I guess. I don't know, I'd rather just run Sudu. We have Sheep's Head, who is 2 cost 3k, and then what does he do? Dawn times 1 on your turn, reduce the cost of all opponent's characters by 1. I don't think this is needed. Cost reduction is like better on bigger numbers. You're not going to need 1 cost on multiple characters. You most likely want like 2 or 3 cost on 1 single character. So I don't think he'll be used unless there's like a board wipe card that this synergizes with. I guess there's that Shanks from that black starter deck. What is it? Starter deck 8? 9? The black Luffy one. But other than that, yeah, I don't know if this will be used. We have a new Jack card, 7 cost 8k power. This is the biggest power Jack card. Ooh, this character's cost is +4, so when you play him out, he's an 11 cost actually, making it hard for him to get removed via cost. Activate main, this character can be turned rested. You can draw a card and discard a card from your hand. After that, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 3 or less. Would you want to do that though? You're playing an 8k body out just as a KO outlet. And yeah, it's black, so you can reduce the cost of something, but wouldn't you rather just swing with your 8k body? That sounds like more effective if you're spending 7 Dawn for it. He's an SR too? What does that mean? I guess with the 8k body, he's hard to attack into, and then since he's 11 cost, he's hard to KO via cost. So he's like a consistent outlet that you have to KO something. But still, I feel like he's much better as an attacker. Attacking for 8k. Yeah, I don't know. We have a Jinbei card too. What is this art? And it has like Hokusai wave in the background too. Is Jinbei supposed to be in Hokusai style too? Let's see what this Jinbei does. 5 cost 6k power, no counter, so it must be a good effect, right? So down ×1 when attacking if you have a character with a cost of 8 or more, KO to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 4 or less. So on curve, this does nothing because you won't have an 8 cost out. Maybe you do. I don't know what cards are in that 3-year 2-day, or is it 2-year 3-day? That new starter deck, the new black one. Because I know they have characters that boost their own cost, so maybe you do have an 8 cost on field when you play this Jinbei. But yeah, since I don't remember what cards are in that starter deck, I won't comment on that. In the late game, do you want to play this out? I guess it's alright. I don't know. I kind of don't like it. We have Jin Rummy too, 2 cost 3k, 1k counter. On play, if your opponent has a character with a cost of 0, draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards from your hand. Okay. So filter effect for 2 Dawn, other than that, kind of useless. Rather just play Sabo, IMHO. Comes with the blocker body, it makes your board immune. We have another Scratchman, Apu. This one is not a 2k counter finally. So 4 cost, 5k power, 1k counter. It's a blocker too. And then activate main once per turn. You can give -1 cost to a opponent's character. That's not horrible, right? You don't even have to rest him or pay anything. It's just a free -1 cost. And he's a blocker too. Yeah, I think at worst he's the blocker. So can't complain. And at best he helps you reach a cost threshold to KO something. I think I like Apu. Don't clip that. Next up we have Duval, the Flying Fish Rider's type, so that doesn't synergize with anything. 1 cost 2k power, 2k counter as well, and then on play you can give +1 cost to one of your characters until your opponent's end of your opponent's next turn. Yeah, I don't think this will be used. Ooh, new Basil Hawkins character, 7 cost 9k power. Oh, it's just a vanilla. His art looks so good that I thought he must have an effect, but he doesn't. Hamlet, 3 cost 4k power, 1k counter. On play, make 1 character with the smile type with the cost of 2 or less appear from your trash, so you can play it from your trash. I wasn't paying attention to if there were any other smile type cards revealed. I don't think there were. I guess this Jin Rami is. So you can play Jin Rami with Hamlet from trash. Is that worth? I don't think so. You could play out Sheep's Head. I don't think that's worth either. Yeah. I don't remember what smile cards there were from OP01 either, so maybe this guy is Dookie in the end. We have a new Who's Who. 2k counter, 5 cost 5k, so already pretty flexible stat line and 2k counter flexibility there. Then on play, you can discard a card from your hand, KO to one of your opponent's characters with the cost of 3 or less. Yeah, that sounds great. For a 2k counter, that's all you could ask for. You could use it as an attacker, you could use it as a 2k counter, you could use it as a KO effect. It even has a trigger, KO at 3 costs or less. Yeah, this is probably a mandatory 4 of if you're playing a Beast Pirates type deck. Honestly, might even be good in any black deck. And we have a new page 1, 5 cost, 5k power. On play, you can make 1 ulti with the cost of 4 or less from your trash appear. You can play it. That sounds good, playing it from trash. So we have the ulti 2k counter from starter deck 4. We have this ulti right in the beginning somewhere. Yep, there it is. I went too far. Oops. So this vanilla ulti, 6k stat line, or you can play the 5k one. And that 5k one, 2k counter, you can cheat out another page 1 with it. Let me bring it up as reference for you guys in case you don't know. I should have done that for the past cards too. My bad. This ulti, if this is in your trash, which most likely it will be because you could just counter for 2k, you'll use it as a 2k counter pretty often. So you'll play this ulti out, and then Dawn -1, you can play a page 1 from your hand with the cost of 4 or less. So not this one, but you can play this page 1. Yeah, just a lot of stickiness all around. It seems like they're printing a lot of sticky effects. I guess this is to counter like the KO heavy meta that has developed for the last like 2 or 3 sets now. So we'll see if this is enough to like, I don't know, like counter the meta, or not counter the meta, like fix the meta. We have another X-Straight card here, Dawn -1. This character becomes a 6 cost. And he himself has no counter. He's a common rarity. Yeah, kind of dookie, IMHO. All he does is make himself harder to KO, but you can still attack into him. So I don't like him. Ooh, we have a new Flame Emperor event. Is this the same attack that Ace uses? What does it do? On main and on counter, you can place 3 cards from your trash onto the bottom of your deck in any order. KO to one of your opponent's characters with the cost of 2 or less. I think you'd rather play a character with this KO effect baked into their card ability. The only advantage this has over those cards is that you can play this on counter, but on counter you don't have access to your cost reduction unless you get it via trigger somehow, but there's no way to guarantee that. So on counter it's a bad effect. On main it's alright, but you'd rather play like a Lucci to KO the 2 cost because it comes with the 6k body at least. But the trigger lets you play it for free though. Nah, I don't think this card will be used. We have Iron Mass Fang Flash. 2 cost event on main. If you have 10 or more cards in your trash, up to one of your characters gets 2000 power until the end of your opponent's next turn. And then trigger, give up to one of your leaders or characters plus 2000 power during this turn only. So 2 it on to buff your character for 2k until your opponent's next turn. So it persists even when your opponent is attacking back into you. So it's almost like 2 turns worth of plus 2k power. It's only character though, not leader. You need 10 cards in your trash. Yeah, I don't know if this will be played at all actually. And then a new 1 cost event, People's Dream Never End. On counter, place the top card of your deck into the trash. If the card placed has a cost of 6 or more, your leader or up to one of your characters gets plus 5000 power during this battle. And then trigger, you can play a black card with a cost of 3 or less for free from your trash. So the trigger sounds pretty good. Let's see, 1 Dawn counter for 5 but super conditional. And as I mentioned in my part 1 video with the blue Marco deck, like the fact that there's cards like this that depend on the top card of your deck being a specific type of card, that trade-off is that you get a strong effect, right? 5k counter for 1 Dawn. That sounds more in line with what you expect. And then I mentioned that how Marco's leader ability like trivializes that trade-off, making it like super broken. But in black, you don't have access to that. And I don't think there's any cards that can guarantee that the top card of your deck is a 6 cost or more. So maybe this isn't as good in a black deck. I guess this is for like a black-blue deck, and then you can use some blue cards to guarantee the top card of your deck. But yeah, in mono black or any other combination of black, this is too hard to play. Then we have a Heliceratops 3 cost event, a lot of black events. On main, if your leader has the Beast Pirates type, you can give -2 costs to one of your opponent's characters for the turn, and KO a 0 cost character. So it's like the Brook, the EB01 Brook, but -1 cost more. Still same 3 costs, you don't get a body at the end of it, and you don't get to utilize it again on your following turn, because Brook can do it when attacking as well. But it does give minus cost and KO baked into 1 card. You might see niche usage, right? Because it accomplishes 2 things in 1 card, freeing up your hand to play other cards. Yeah, my verdict is it's playable. Though it even has a trigger, KO a 3 cost or less. Yep, I think this card is runnable for sure. Okay, moving on to yellow, we have Kalgara. Okay, so the Google translation for this one is completely messed up, but what he does is you can attach 1 Dawn, and then when you're attacking, you can play a Shandora Warriors type character from your hand equal to the number of Dawn you have on board, or equal to or less than. And then if you do play a card this way, you have to add the top card of your life to your hand. So you hurt yourself to cheat out a Shandora Warriors type character, but you can play like whatever you would have played on curve, and you get to attack with your leader too. That is kind of like Gecko Moria and Doflamingo, Blue Doflamingo. So we have that kind of effect in yellow now. But yeah, it is quite the steep price. You have to take a life. So we'll see if there's ways to heal with a Kalgara deck. We have a character Kalgara. This one's just a vanilla. The art is so different. But yeah, kind of disappointing. He doesn't have an effect. He's just a vanilla in his own deck. We have South Bird. 1 cost 2k power. On play, look at the top 7 cards of your deck and make 1 upper yard. Get played for free. And put the rest of the cards on the top or bottom of your deck. Okay, so it searches pretty deep for the stage card for 1 Dawn. That makes it very consistent, I feel. What does upper yard do again? OP05, right? Upper yard lets you look at the top 5 cards of your deck, reveal 1 Sky Island type card and add it to your hand. Okay, so it's like a double search. You could South Bird into an upper yard, then upper yard picks you up another Sky Island card. That sounds pretty good. We have Charlotte Angel as well, a new Big Mom Pirates yellow card. So not only in purple. 2 cost 3k power. Sounds kind of bad already. Activate main. Once per turn, you can put 1 card from the top of your life into the trash. If your leader has a Big Mom Pirates type, at the end of this turn, you can put 1 card from the top of your life into the trash. Okay, why did it repeat it twice? Add the top card of to your life. Huh? I think what it's saying is that you can trash the top card of your life, so you don't get to trigger it. It doesn't go to hand. And if your leader has a Big Mom Pirates type, you can replace that card with the top card of your deck. So it's like a convoluted way to turn the top card of your life face down. And it's a completely different card that you don't know what it is. So I guess this is a way for your pudding to be able to use your leader ability again. That's what it sounds like at least. It's 2 down for that utility. If that's worth it to you, I don't know. Not to me. Charlotte Opera, 6 cost, 6k power, 1k counter. On play, you can discard 1 card from your hand. KO up to one of your opponent's characters with the cost less than or equal to your life. So it's kind of like a opposite Hidatsu, because you can control your own life, right? You can counter out of it to keep it high to KO your opponent's characters. Your opponent can't like play around it by taking life or something like that. Yeah, I think it's worth it. On curve, you'll most likely still be at 5 life if you've been defending. So you can KO a 5 cost if you're playing a 5 life yellow leader, which is the highest cost that your opponent could have played the turn prior. So I like Opera. You have Charlotte Custard as well, 2 cost 3k power. Activate main once per turn. You can add the top card of your life to your hand, and then you can give plus 1000 power to one character until the end of your opponent's next turn. That doesn't sound good at all, so we'll move on. Charlotte Poiru is a 1 cost 2k power, 1k counter that has a trigger that lets you play it for free. No, you have to discard a card to play it, and then you draw a card to replace that card. So it's like almost playing it for free. Play it for free and get a filter. But that does mean that you can't trigger it out when you're at 0 cards in hand. But if you had 0 cards in hand, this 2k power character played for free is not going to save you. I don't really know what this card is used for. I don't know, maybe the filtering is useful, but I don't think so. We have Jewelry Bonnie. Ooh, new Vegapunk deck cards. So 3 cost 4k power, down times 1 during your turn, once per turn. When your opponent loses life, draw 2 cards and discard 1 card from your hand. Ooh, that sounds really good. So you're up plus 1 cards and you filter out a card. Is it hard to activate though? Not really, right? It's on your own turn. And then attaching Dawn, so you swing with this Bonnie. If they take, you get to draw a card basically. Better than draw a card. And then on trigger, you get that Queen filtering plus 1 card effect. Yeah, I like this Bonnie. Oh, we have Inami finally as a character in the Egghead type. So she's in her Egghead uniform. So 5 cost, 5k power, 1k counter. On play, you can discard 1 card with trigger from your hand. KO a opponent's character with the cost of 5 or less. Afterwards, if you have 3 or less cards in your hand, draw 1 card. This is amazing. It's 5 down to KO a 5 cost. And then you have a bunch of trigger cards. It's not going to be hard to find one to discard. And it even lets you draw a card if you're low in hand. This Nami must be an SR, right? Yep, she is. This Nami is going to be great. Hope there's an alt art for it. There has to be, right? For all the SRs. So yeah, great to Vegapunk card. We have Nitro, 1 cost 2k power, 1k counter. Activate main. This character can be rested. You can buff a Pudding for 2k during this turn. That doesn't sound great. If he was a 2k counter, yeah, he'd be flexible enough to use that effect, but as a 1k counter, this is doo-doo. Mont Blanc Cricket is just a vanilla, so we'll move on. Mont Blanc Nolan is a 5 cost 6k power. What is the snake? His eyes? Okay, on play, if your leader has the Shandoran Warriors type, then your character and the leader is Kalgara, and you have a character named Kalgara. Add up to 1 card from the top of your deck to your life. That sounds really convoluted. So you both need to be playing Kalgara the leader, and you need a Kalgara character out, which we saw was the vanilla. This lets you heal. So if they kill the Kalgara character, this card does nothing. I don't know. I'm not sold on the Shandoran Warriors type deck. We have a new Wiper too, 4 cost 5k power, 2k counter. So on play, you can look at the top 5 cards of your deck, reveal an upper yard. So it only searches for the stage, and it only goes to your hand. Oh, and then you can play that upper yard from your hand. So this is kind of like Ohm. You don't need to hit the upper yard in your search. If you already have an upper yard in your hand, you can just play it for free. And that leads you into another search. So pretty big card advantage kind of card. You'll be drawing a lot. And he's a 2k counter. So this is actually a really good card because you can play him out. 4 costs for 5k power is completely worth it. Keep it in your hands at 2k, or you can play him out to like potentially draw you 2 cards. Well, it's 1 overall because you play out the upper yard, but yeah, you get what I mean. We have S-Shark as well. Oh, is that all the Shandoran Warriors? There's like nothing for a Kalgara deck in this set. So we have a Seraphim finally. 4 cost 5k power. Playable stat line. Dawn times 1. When attacking, your opponent can't activate blocker during this battle. That's alright. And then trigger, you can discard a card from your hand. If you have 2 or less life, play this card. Okay, it has a trigger that lets you play it. Yeah, maybe not that bad. Might even be good in like a Bello Betty deck, right? This is another card that can bypass blockers if you're going for game. And you can buff him because he has a trigger. Yeah. A Snake, 5 cost 6k power. Oh, I guess all the Seraphims have triggers. So when S-Snake appears on play, up to one of your opponent's characters with the cost of 6 or less other than a Monkey D. Luffy cannot attack until your opponent's next turn. The end of the opponent's next turn. So it's kind of like the blue boa. It freezes. On the trigger lets you just activate that freeze effect. So you don't get the body out. So this one won't be good for Bello Betty. This is good yellow card in general, I feel. Having that stall effect. This could be run in Enel. just to prevent one attack from your opponent being able to kill you. That's what his whole playstyle revolves around, keeping your leader ability up and reducing the number of times that your opponent can attack. You also have S Bear, 3 cost 4k power, no effect, but he has a trigger. Discard a card. If you have 2 or less life, you can KO a opponent's character with the cost of 3 or less. I don't think that will be used. S Hawk as well. 4 cost 5k, 1k counter, Dawn times 1 if the number of lives you have is less than your opponent. This character cannot be KO'd in battle, with the card with the slash attribute. And also this character gets plus 2000 power. That sounds convoluted. So it only gets a plus 2000 power when being attacked by a slash attribute character? No, then what's the point of not being KO'd part? So he gets the 2k power regardless of that, just if you have less life than your opponent. Cordon for 7k isn't too bad. He's a great tool for like trading if he gets to be 7k. Because once you attack your opponent's life, they could equal you in life. So that means he loses out on his boost. And then since you do have to attach a Dawn to him, he swings for 8 technically. That sounds amazing. And then trigger, if you have 2 or less life and you discard a card, you can play him for free. Yeah, this might also be a good Bella Betty card too. If you can somehow get a Dawn attached to him when he attacks, right? Because Bella Betty can buff him to like a 11k actually. That's insane. We have an event, 1 cost, the earth cannot be defeated. On counter, if your leader has the Shandora Warriors type, your leader or up to one of your characters gets plus 3k power during this battle, then play an upper yard from your hand. Okay, so only Kalgara can run this, but it counters 3k for 1 Dawn, like guard point, and then you could play upper yard for free, so it searches for like a potentially additional 2k. I like it. And then trigger, you can draw 2, discard 1. I like it. This is a good card. Does it make Kalgara runnable? I don't know. We have another event, Combustion Cannon, 2 Dawn. On counter, give your leader up to 1 character plus 4000 power during this battle. Then you may add 1 card from the top or bottom of your life to your hand. If you do this, add 1 card from your hand with the trait Shandora Warriors back on top of your deck face up. Top of your life face up. Why would I want to do that? So 2 Dawn for 4k counter is standard. Then you can filter out a card from your hand and place it on top of your life. Was there a Shandora Warriors type character that had a good trigger? Let me go back real quick. So he doesn't have a trigger. Neither does the vanilla. Neither does the bird. Or he's not even a Shandora warrior. What is this card supposed to target? Yeah, I don't know. But because I don't know, this card is kind of meh. But you guys will let me know, right? Okay, 5 Dawn event, Burning Sword. Main, you can put 1 card from the top of your life into the trash. Key out to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 7 or less. I think I'd rather just run Raigo. I guess this one lets you operate at higher life, but if you have to take a life anyway, then like you'll be at 1 eventually. So just play Raigo. You can KO any cost practically with no downside. So I do like Raigo more than Burning Sword. What does the trigger do? You can add 1 card from the top of your life to your hand and add 1 card from your hand to the top of your life. Okay, so that lets you set up a trigger or something. But yeah, the activate main, I don't know. I'm not sold on this one. Okay, that's all the yellow cards. We'll move on to the secret rares of the set. So Silver's Rayleigh, 8 costs 8k. What does he do on play? Select up to 2 of your opponent's characters, and until the end of your opponent's next turn, 1 gets minus 3k power, the other one gets minus 2, and after that KO to one of your opponent's characters with the power of 3000 or less. It's a little convoluted. It's kind of like that Revolutionary Army, the Red Sabo, that KOs 2 characters based on power. No, this KOs only 1. The part that targets 2 characters is the minus power effect. So this is a great like board clear tool, but you have to get your board set up in a way that you benefit from this, which might come into play because it seems like there's a lot of sticky cards in this set, so maybe there'll be like higher than normal amount of characters out, so you will be able to target 2 characters with this. And then he pops 1 too potentially. If it's like a 6k, bring it to 3, pop it. And for 8 Dawn, I guess you could combo it with like Gordons and Raise Maxes to make that even easier to pop something bigger. So yeah, he does have an immediate effect. He's a big body. I think he's not unplayable. It just depends on how the meta will shape up. Yeah, could be good. The verdict is still out on this one. It's not like obviously OP, but yeah, it could have like a spot in the 08 meta as it evolves. And then we have Kaido and Linlin. I have a whole video dedicated to this card, so should I even go over it in this video? I guess I'll like go over it like speedrun. So 10 cost 12k power. What it does is when attacking, if you don minus 10, you can KO all characters except this character. Then you can add 1 card from the top of your deck to the top of your life and put 1 card on the top of your opponent's life into the trash. So it's like the 10 cost Kaido from 01 and then the 10 cost Big Mom from 03 combined into 1 card. It's not an on-play effect, it's when you're attacking only. And it's minus 10 Dawn, not minus 7. But yeah, I went over like ways you could use this card. I think I concluded that the quicker you can cheat this out, the more value you'll get, because you'll have a 12k beater on board that your opponent can't deal with, unless they like Red Rocket or something. And then with cards like the Black Maria, and then if you're running like a Red Purple Luffy leader, you can recover all that 10 Don back really quickly. But yeah, I did in the end like this card too. It might be jank even, but I think it's a legit win condition for a deck. So I'll be interested to see if that becomes true when like pros play this card. I'll try it at least. And that should be the last card. Yep. So that is the purple, black, and yellow cards of OP08. My initial thoughts on them. The translations were a little more scuffed this time than they were before, and I'm a little tired too, so if I misunderstood anything or misread some of the effects or missed some synergies, please let me know so I'll know on day one when I start playing 08. And yeah, what do you guys think of OP08 in total, overall? What color is your favorite? What are you interested in playing the most? Whether it be new leaders or like updates to old decks. And give my channel a subscribe if you're not already subscribed. For some reason, it works when I remind people to do it. The number goes up a little more than normal. But yeah, if you don't like my videos, don't have to subscribe. But if you're at this point, that means you watched the whole video. That means you gotta like me, right? So I guess you don't gotta like me, but please. Okay, bye.
Card D Kaizoku.